Hey everybody, how's it going? This is a grumpy old guy gaming, and today I have the privilege of being accompanied by one foremost, Ilondera on the .hack network Discord, and we will be going on a pair of runs. I'm running Repkosa, I'm my Blade Master, warming it back up after a brief hiatus, a bit of a vacation. I did a random run here and there. We are on the Shining Darkness server. Emos has been putting in some work, customizing some words and whatnot. And this is going to be a fun run for me. It's not an unusual position for me when partying up to be the lower leveled player, and this is certainly no exception. I believe Ilandera said that foremost their long arm is level 85, I believe, as we're looking at this video here. Looking for keywords, and the fun thing about some of the words Emo's put in is they make for some really fun phrases. It was getting a bit towards the later evening hours, Thursday recording this. So the first set of keywords that popped into my head as I'd been running the server a bit, testing things out for them, and just generally, testing things out for my own curiosity, was the phrase emboldened haunted coffee. That slightly too strong cup that you sat down because it was a little too hot, and then it's 2 hours later, you're really thirsty, it's cooled off. And, well, there's nothing good that can come of it, but you pick up the cup anyway, right? So it's a level 75 light field, and I'm just checking real quick with Foremost to confirm. I would like to point out they were having some issues with with their plugins on the emulator, so they're not able to type on there. Most of the discussion we had was back and forth, me typing either in-game or on the Discord, and then them responding to me on Discord as well. So it's going to be a little disjointed on the communication here. They did confirm that the level 75 light field was good for them, and so we take a moment, get ready. Also pause for a moment here. Emus was actually nice enough to watch in for us on the viewport. He originally just wanted to check it out because it's not something you get to look at too often. You have the option there, if you're running the area server, to actually look in on the action as it happens through the player's viewpoints and from different camera angles by linking in through the viewport, but it's not something people do very frequently. At some point we have to get footage of that. It wouldn't be a comprehensive look at Fragment without checking out all of the features, and that's a niftier one, and one of the more unsung ones. But again, we are going to emboldened haunted coffee. Sure took my sweet time finding that C word this time, didn't I? And there you see it. It's a level 75 light field. Going to be warping in momentarily, just waiting on the cue from Emus. You'll notice that the audio for this track for me was all kind of screwed up. I'm going to be linking Foremost's video. They have this run, these runs captured as well on their YouTube channel, and in addition to the usual Fragment Friday links, I'm going to go ahead and link their stuff down there as well. So feel free to check theirs out. They did an excellent job capturing it, and it's always interesting to see the run from multiple perspectives. I think one of the cooler things about Fragment is the natural narrative that takes place over the course of a run, and being able to see that narrative from multiple perspectives at the same time is in itself a very, very unique and neat thing. So we're coming into this light field, and it's a swamp area. It's cloudy, it's raining. Gonna go ahead and get our speed buffs up thanks to my gloves with app do. Do the do. That's what that means, right? This is about the time I realized that I hadn't pulled any Sprite ocarinas. Silly me, I forgot to shop back in town. Don't think I had much money on me anyway. I need to do a couple gold runs. Fortunately, Foremost is all set to get right to the dungeon. So we go for the big head in the ground, riding our grunties, and you saw an Alucard just sort of sitting there. And there's another one right by the door. Nothing better than knowing you're getting ambushed right out of the gate, right? So we dismount the grunty, and sure enough, we've got to fight an Alucard here, and the other one's going to be wandering around. You can see it queued up on the right side there, and it's coming right to left. Fortunately, we make fairly quick work of this. Has a water attack there on his lance. I'm using the Maniac Blade. Nice little 77 sword there. I think it was Midnight who had mentioned getting it offline. If it wasn't, I'm sorry. But I'm fairly certain. And I think they were right now that I'm thinking about this. It was in exchange for finding a sword for Sanjuro and offline. I'd forgotten about that. So kind of healing up here right at the entrance to the dungeon. Neat little flesh dungeon. Walls of meat. And one of the neat things about being in the viewport and everything, Emus was actually navigating for me. He was letting me know which way to go to try and clear all the portals, rather than me just stumbling blind. So we're just kind of milling about at this point. Getting all the buffs ready, and here comes our first portal. And we've got a demon wyvern. Fairly advanced monster. You saw the worst part of it there. It's got the death touch ability. So it takes Foremost's almost 2,000 hit points right down in a hurry. End up healing up a bit there, and we combine to take it out. Go ahead and heal myself up after that. Here you'll see a little bit of confusion because I can't tell left from right. Emu said go one way and I went the opposite. Fortunately, it did give Foremost a little time to regenerate mana, as I was too much of a dink to throw an Artisan Soul his way. Get a pair of Wood Maidens out of the gate here, and anytime I could soak up a sleep for another player, I'm more than happy to do it. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get the job done. The Maiden managed to escape after getting both Foremost and I asleep, and the scary thing about that is we were right next to each other. So those Juke Zot spells that they're casting, just launching those trees up out of the ground, were hitting both of us and really putting us in a precarious position. Foremost did manage to escape the old sleep trap and take out one of the maidens. That helped a great deal. We're eventually able to finish the other one off. The last blow I landed was while asleep, so nothing like beating an enemy in your sleep, right? Nothing challenging there. Moving up the top part of this sideways T into a dead-end corridor, and it's got a drill idol. Almost 6,000 hit points on this sucker, and like most of the monsters in its line, leads off fairly frequently by casting App Corv as if it's not menacing enough, giving itself an attack burst right out of the gate. Has that shield ability to deflect damage, which just happened to buy the drill idol another attack and unfortunately knocked down Foremost. Again, when you get to dungeon levels this high, things get a little hairy. Mentioning to them to go ahead and take whatever treasure they'd like. I would like to say they were more than generous with the treasures. They certainly didn't have to leave as many as they did, and I thank them for that, and overall for the run. Always a blast to party up with people. Previously, Emus, Spooky, and I had done a run, and then Emus and I had done a run together in between before I headed off to meet Foremost. Coming up on another drill idol here on a dead-end room on the bottom side of the sideways T. Fortunately, we both had darkness element attacks, and that made it fairly quick work. And lucrative work for me. I'm picking up 9 experience here. Make sure to reapply the buffs to them. I had switched out my app core buff. The Warrior's Blood, I think, is a physical attack up. I'd switched it out for Beast's Blood to get more magical defense. Trying to think in terms of survival, I've really been taking a lot of bad blows recently due to monsters just getting that extra shot in on me on spells. Sadly, I don't think the Beast's Blood was doing the trick, because tonight was, spoilers, Thursday night was one of those nights where things just seemed to be, I just was not on top form, and it led to some pretty rough situations. I will say I did not have the best gameplay going forward there. Coming up on a Wyvern and a Wood Maiden here. Take out the Maiden in the corner. Foremost took quite a chunk out of the Wyvern by the time I made my way over, and I finally realized I had a fire attack. Don't ask me why we'd fought 2 Wyverns previously and it never popped into my head to use the element they're weak against. Perhaps I should have had another sip of the Emboldened Haunted coffee. There I had another derp moment. I'm out of fairies orbs, so the fortune wires are a spot closer than they normally are. Didn't realize that and drank an unnecessary recovery drink. Moving down into the next room, little L-shaped room, and a drill idol crammed right into the middle of it. Get some really good starting damage off, and I fail to notice that my hit points are below half as I set up to combo again. Fortunately saved by the bell on that potion. And Foremost gets the kill, finishes off the drill idol, and we are moving to the next room. And here we will find another drill idol. Whole bunch of these early on. At this point I'll take those because they're not going to paralyze us. And we've shown pretty able on handling these things thus far. There I got hit with the business end of the drill, and it was one shot and down for me. So I get to finish this combat as a ghost. Foremost takes him out, and a little bit of suspense there. Got banged around pretty hard himself, all the way down to 302 hit points. Make sure to throw my thanks out for the resurrection before moving on to the next. At least get my speed up before I started moving. The bloods you could pop in progress. Moving to a large cross-shaped room here. risky treasure, investigate, and it's another Rasho. Through this bottom room here. Got another one of those semicircle rooms. This one's got a pair of demon wyverns in it. Sorry, getting a little lazy on the pronunciations at this point in the evening. Will say it is more than likely that this video will not be out for its usual midnight release. But I will go ahead and let it process overnight, and as soon as it's ready, it'll post. Death Touch attack has me in critical range, but the wyvern is very low on hit points, and just more concerned with dropping the monster than I was my own health there. Sorta lucked out. Worked out in my favor. Foremost nice enough to heal me up there. And we are heading back to our intersection. In the right hand side here. Couple more wood maidens. Taking me to task after laying me down for a nap. I guess standing me up for a nap. That's some potent magic getting me asleep on my feet. Foremost once again doing the heavy lifting here. Switching between elements, switching between attacks. And I decided to regain consciousness just in time to cheer him on at the end there. Moving up this side. Got another drill idol. Monsters in dot hack games are a very unique art style and some really awesome designs. I would say the drill idol and its subsequent line are some of the more interesting large monsters and something that really sticks out against your usual fantasy game fare. Sorry, had to grab a drink there. Going back into the intersection room. This time heading topside. And nothing to do now but head to the third floor. Making our way into the third floor of this dungeon. Again, level 75 light field. Certainly not the craziest thing I've run of late. In fact, I've had the distinct privilege of running many a crazy thing of late. This is probably the first portal that made me sweat a bit. As you can see, we've got the maidens and the Alucards. So I made a decision right then and there to start data draining for all it's worth. You can see me just pounding away on it. Got a rat crest there. My goal was to get down to 1 Alucard. We got down to 2. Tried to take it out real quick and then hurry up and start attacking the other Alucard so it wouldn't resurrect the fallen one. Was not so lucky there, but we were able to fell the 1 Alucard before the newly risen Alucard could go ahead and revive its savior. Having the other 2 monsters run around after being drained was no big deal. And after the battle, I just sort of took a deep breath and I shot a dude. I was getting a little nervous there on chat on that battle. I did not see that going well. When you get to these high level fields, you kind of just hope against hope that it's going to be something that you can handle or manage easily. An attainable kill, a monster that doesn't have a bunch of wonky skill effects. Things that, do pure damage that you can work around. So seeing an entire suite of monsters come up that can paralyze you and most of them can resurrect each other is just nightmare scenario. We did make it through though and moved on to a drill idol that takes me down for the second time in this run. Again, no joking matter here. These things are going to put a hurting on you. Foremost and I have both fallen, and we're only getting single-digit experience out of here. Get an ion strike out of the chest, and then remember that if you want a speed boost, it has to be active. Moving into the next room here. Little upside down T, and right at the juncture we've got a drill idol. Hit the shield ability again. No damage, not our favorite phrase in this run, but it sure seems that way from the amount of times it's getting repeated. I'll certainly settle for elemental hit more often. Eventually we do make good work on this drill idol, and it falls to our combined power. Moving, I think we go up, yeah. Up this time leads us to a dead-end room. Portal reveals a risky treasure, so I grab the far safer one on the altar, and I'm left with a rather disappointing The Moon. Risky treasure is left for me, so I defuse it and grab another Rasho. A little bit of backtracking here, and then going further right. I think at that point Emus had asked what Rasho was because I'm probably mispronouncing it, and so I told him the level and weapon type. Got two more maidens here. Split them up nicely between us, and I'm able to fell mine a second or two before Foremost finishes theirs off. Certainly not a competition. What's done is done, and happier to have the maidens out of our hair. Now we gotta head the whole way back across the floor map here. Want to take this time to mention, if you're looking to play Fragment, I've been linking last year's guide, the How to Play Fragment in 2020 guide. Today I am going to link the 2021 update from .hack Network on that, and if you're looking for a place to just hang out, talk all things .hack, there is the .hack Network Discord, as well as the .hack Network website, .hack.org. Moving to this cross-shaped room here. Checking out the charred guard I got. Avoiding any compulsion I had to make Charizard jokes, even though that was running through my head as I had said charred guard. Guess the jokes would not have been very effective anyway. Come up on a host of Alucards. We're pretty close to the end at this point. Only a few rooms left. Just trying to drain the Alucards as usual, but a little bit of bad luck hit me there. I died, and it was before I could have got resurrected. So Foremost in a pinch, all on their own, and it's just not looking good for the home team, is it? Sadly, we go down. We fall like a pile of bricks, and that one's on me. I charged in recklessly and put my party member in a position that did not help. Unfortunately, that meant we both fell a level down. So back to Shining Darkness we go to regroup. Kind of chit chat here for a bit. Gonna go ahead and skip ahead from this point and rejoin you here in a moment. And we are back. Did a bit of a trade-off there. They were nice enough to give me a Tsugari level 98 heavy blade weapon. Went ahead and stashed that for the misses for down the road when she's got her heavy blade up to a point where that will be a usable weapon. At this point I'm just kind of looking for a field that will be able to clear a little more easily and still give us some of the experience back we've lost. This is where it's a bit of a challenge to be the lower leveled person, because if I were higher leveled, I know I could probably just solo most of the experience back, and I'd just look for an area I could handle a little more easily. But coming from under the level of the field you were running and falling last time to some bad luck, you really kind of want to be careful what word you end up choosing to try and make that experience back. And so I went through a couple iterations, and again, it was nice having the server host on voice chat, being able to talk through some of the things. It's one of the things I really want to get into in more detail as time goes on with Fragment here. Talking to people who are sitting there and making these custom fields and tweaking their area servers, see what they wanted to do where, why they added things in the way they were. Eventually we're settling on, well, I thought I was settling on the word downright vindictive shindig, which felt really appropriate given my mood at the time. Just kind of wanted to dance all over the misfortunes of the previous run. As you could see, it was setting a pretty high bar though, level 87 and a fire field to boot. So there's no guarantee we wouldn't run into the monsters that we ran into before and are likely to face something a little bit worse. So while I'm coming up with these words, I'm talking things over with emus, and during this discussion, since I can't even remember the specifics of it in the least at this point, and it was only an hour or so ago, I want to take a moment here and thank the other part of this wonderful Fragment community that I've been lucky enough to be a part of for some time now. And that would be the people over at NetSlum. Alkaline, of course, runs the NetSlum lobby server and the website to go with it. That will be linked down below, as well as the NetSlum Discord. That is, of course, where we meet every Friday for Fragment Friday. Have a nice group in the voice chat there. Been a lot of streams directly to the NetSlum Discord lately. Emus actually streamed the runs we had done previously on Thursday, and Spooky tends to stream his Friday runs. So even if you're not running on Fragment Friday, just checking things out there, popping in, enjoying the stream, and just chatting with fellow hackers, it's a great experience. Little virtual block party as the world is trying to regain its footing. Eventually we do settle on some keywords. Luminous vindictive shindig. So I was pretty close with my original thought. And again, it's level 87 fire field. Just took a gamble on it. Thought we could handle it. Kind of threw out to Foremost that I was taking a gamble here, and they seemed very, very confident. They're like, yeah, we got this. Again, I'm about to start taking out field portals. Foremost hops on the Grunty, and I follow suit. Certainly not going to argue, right to the dungeon works for me. That said, it is worth pointing out that if you're running on Fragment and you want to help level the area server up you're running on, clearing the field portals as well as the dungeon portals will gain the server so much more experience. Here we're up against this snake thing, and it seems the biggest detriment to our party is myself because I keep getting charmed. Similar to the issues I had with Stare back in the one event. I just get charmed time and time again, and Foremost is up in a losing battle against both the snake and myself, but eventually does overcome. We get through, time to reapply the speed boost, and before you know it, we will be heading into this dungeon in search of a little measure of revenge and a positive note to end this evening on. Popping a fairy's orb as I had done some shopping in town between runs and finally replenished my stash a bit there. Heading into the first room, square room. Inside the portal we have a Pazuzu, high level nomadic bones type. See, the hands are just pincers made of what look to be mandibles out of giant skulls. This thing is just death incarnate. And it's got a death touch attack, which dropped Foremost real quick there. We were able to heal Foremost back up and get through this battle without a casualty. Good experience. You can see Foremost picked up 5 experience there themselves, now at level 84. And I pick up some stealth blades in one chest and an inferno strike in the other. Making our way to the next room here. Another inferno strike calling my name before we move forward. Little treasure rooms giving us a welcome little moment of respite before moving to a 90-degree turn room. Just get a treasure chest out of that portal, feeling good about that. Got another square-shaped room here, and coming out of this portal are, well, it looks to be Dark Lord. Same line as those infernos and things of the like, completely magical tolerant, can throw some pretty wicked damage spells, and can confuse you. Moving on here, but not before grabbing this treasure. Fortune wire, and it's another stealth blades. Always a welcome sight on resale value alone. Last portal for the floor just has a treasure chest. Kind of move by it and make our way into the next room. Eventually. Really not sure what I'm doing at this point. Think I may have been checking something off screen. Do eventually get to the stairs though, despite my previous efforts. Into floor 2 we go. Here's a little secret if you're running Shining Darkness. Shindig will generate some absolutely wicked difficulties, but if you think you can handle it, it's also only going to give you a 2-floor dungeon. Popping off against some gob machines here. Take them down. Thanks to a conversation the previous day with Dao and Venus, I have come to understand that Gob Machine, as well as the Flame Maiden, are two monsters that you could potentially data drain a Sublime Stole out of. So if you're a fan of the Rig spells, Rig Same and Rig Game, health and skill point regenerations respectively, monsters like the ones you're seeing here, the Gob Machine and the Flame Maiden, very useful to you if you can survive them. Here we get out of an encounter with a Dark Lord and a Gob Machine, picking up more excellent loot before making our way up. Got a little bend made out of two L-shaped rooms here. First one's got a few Gob Machines. And a Dark Lord. Dark Lord puts me to sleep. Or is that a Maiden? Yeah, I think a Maiden may be in this party too, as I got the old double whammy. Yeah, you can see it there moving behind the Dark Lord. I got put to sleep and confused, and then both were mercifully cured by me no longer being alive. Foremost gets put to sleep as well, and things are looking once again grim for us. See, he's hanging on his best, but Rhineck gets popped, and Foremost is in critical health when they wake up, but wake up they do. Able to resurrect me and get some distance between ourselves and the fighters before getting put back to sleep here on the end. Fortunately, Foremost is able to dodge the worst of it. I've just kind of been a placeholder in this battle. Do finally get out and try to do my own thing. And we have a Flame Maiden here. Lo and behold, the other monster you could potentially data drain a Sublime Stole out of. Got some life steal going on there. Not too sad about that. Gonna be moving to the next room here shortly. Just once again reapplying buffs. Get 3 Maidens and a Gob Machine. Stop me if you've heard this one before. But it's really not looking well. Fortunately, I'm doing the one thing I was more than capable of that evening, and that's distracting mages. If only by virtue of sitting down right in front of them. They eventually do start putting me to sleep, and that allows Foremost to do the brunt of the damage, having a very heroic run up to this point. Got one more case on this particular branch of the dungeon. It's a square-shaped room with a portal at the back. Gonna go ahead, open that portal, and it is a risky treasure. Lucked out there. Was compensated with yet another pair of stealth blades. Moving back to the door. Time to swing our way down into the final section. See, we've got a cross-shaped intersection room. We've already cleared out the top part. Get a Maiden and a Dark Lord here. Dark Lord really not making the smartest of tactical choices. It confuses me. But it's the only monster around me, so I'm able to put quite hurting on this thing before I am finally dropped with a spell, just before doing lethal damage. Foremost is going to finish the job though, just coming back into camera before landing the final shot, and once again being nice enough in the aftermath to go ahead and give me a resurrect. In the meantime, I was just sticking around, seeing what I could do with a ghost. One of the things you could definitely do is walk right through a treasure chest. So precious little to do in this cross-shaped intersection. And if we go down, that's where the statue is. So we're going to go right to left here. In this room off to the side, we have a portal, and out of that portal comes some maidens and some gob machines. Looks like you have a fair contingent of the freelance mages society sort of moonlighting in the back, watching you load up. Not that that's a creepy thought at all, is it? Eventually we move on to a battle here with some Dark Lords. I am put down rather quickly. Eventually do get back in the saddle though. And fighting we will go. Which is dealing so much damage at this point. Eventually we get done, seemingly done for now. Getting these last couple chests. One more portal left in the dungeon. Once again, making sure we are in tip-top shape. And the last portal is just a chest. Anticlimactic finish, but we'll take it, especially after that near miss on the first dungeon. Didn't get either of our levels back on this run, but we did get a measure of revenge, and we did end on a high note here. Going to move into the statue room. Let them grab the treasure here. I want to thank you all for checking out this video. Again, hope you're having a pleasant day overall, and a wonderful Fragment Friday wherever you are. Do take care, and hopefully we will see you around. Well, that nightmare is over. Let's see. Oh, no, 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 not more snakes and Dark Lords. We're out of here. We're not out of here, are we? Foremost is fighting us. Let's go back and help out. Well, looks like he's got one under control. At least I can go in there and help him because he's all confused and everything. And that's not the best way to fight. And, shit, I'm charmed. Shit. This isn't good. Dick move on my part. I'm getting life drains off my own guy. Sorry, Foremost. Worst partner ever. Promise it won't happen again. I'll just stand back here and try and help out, cast some support stuff, and maybe come in and help out fighting, and I'm charmed again. These Vlitra Masters, man. It's one snake with 3 faces. Just so cool. I want to be a 3-headed snake. Badass. Okay, you're alive again. That's my bad. Totally my fault. I'm sorry. I'm doing it again, aren't I? Hey, at least you killed the snake. I was not any help. But we won, right? Right? Right?